This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Kia ora, good evening and welcome to the South Today. I'm Sophie Morris. New Zealand is transitioning to level 2 restrictions in response to the spread of COVID-19. From tomorrow, bars will be able to open as long as they maintain the 3 S's rule, keeping groups seated, separated, and they should use table service. At today's COVID-19 briefing, Director General of Health, Dr. Ashley Bloomfield, says there are no new cases of COVID-19 today. And more than 92,000 New Zealanders have registered on a new digital diary app after the government's NZ COVID Tracer app was made available on app stores overnight. A motorcycle repair workshop went up in flames in Balclutha this morning. The fire started just before 9 a.m. at a large warehouse called Ag and Auto Direct in central Balclutha.
Fire crews from Balclutha, Milton, Kaitangata and Waiwera South attended the blaze, along with a fire command unit from Dunedin because the building contained hazardous materials. State Highway 1 traffic was rerouted and businesses in the immediate area were evacuated. FENS says a number of people heard explosions and the building was thought to contain drums of oil plus cylinders of acetylene gas and oxygen. A thick pall of smoke from the fire drifted across eastern Balclutha. Public were warned the smoke was toxic and residents should isolate themselves with doors and windows closed. In Balclutha, the South Today.
One person is in Dunedin hospital after a crash in the Queen's Gardens this morning. A police spokeswoman says the 2-vehicle crash happened at the intersection of Burlington Street and Queen's Gardens about 7:20 a.m. The New Zealand Transport Agency say the crash blocked the right lane of State Highway 1 at Queen's Gardens and caused traffic to slow to a crawl. The traffic light pole was damaged in the incident but was being worked on this afternoon. Community support organisers in Milton are pleased after receiving a large funding boost from the Clutha District Council. Project Bruce organisers say the funding will be a big help towards future community projects.
A $60,000 cash injection from the Clutha District Council is a big boost for the former Milton Community Health Trust, now reformed as Project Bruce.
It's fantastic, and we now can stop worrying about where our next dollar's coming from and start to do our projects again, which is going to be amazing. And the struggle to survive is hopefully a thing of the past for a few months, so that now we can put all our efforts into supporting the community and doing what we're supposed to do.
An impressive Presbyterian church designed by R.A. Lawson dominates the town, which might be called Milton because of sawmilling or perhaps being named after the 17th century poet John Milton. Project Bruce community development worker Kim Schiller says one of the first things they'll be doing is recommencing the local arts publication called Heteroglossia.
First up is our next edition of Heteroglossia, and then we'll be focusing on lots of stuff that has been sort of illuminated by the COVID-19 situation. So community gardening, community shed, lots of sustainability and environmental things.
She says Project Bruce are planning a series of workshops on how to make products cheaper at home, which could come in handy if there are more lockdowns in the future.
Sustainable lunches, like waste-free lunches, making crackers and just things that you'd ordinarily buy that actually are cheaper to make, and sort of drawing on the resilient communities sort of aspect, making people potentially more prepared for an eventuality like this again.
She admits projects such as Working Bees could look a little different under Level 2 rules.
A lot of our projects obviously are community orientated, so they involve people being together, which navigating that will be interesting. Keeping numbers to under 10, spaced out a minimum, that's going to be a challenge for us to do. But it's not impossible. It's happening all around the rest of the town, so we can do it as well.
In Milton, the South Today.
A former Dominion Constructors employee is facing a $38,000 fine after admitting cutting steel reinforcing bars during the construction of Queenstown's Kmart. Jason Bueller, who now lives in Canada, was due to be sentenced in the Queenstown District Court today on a charge of carrying out building work in breach of a consent. However, Judge John Strettle adjourned his final sentence until Bueller provides a formal statement saying whether he's able to pay the fine. Bueller was the on-site project manager for the construction of the 4,000 square metre building in the Queenstown Central Shopping Centre during 2018. St John are getting ready to construct a new service hub in Timaru. With the money coming from local donations accumulated over 80 years, the plan is to use local contractors as much as possible for the build.
Demolition work has begun on the former Seven Oaks Reception Centre in Timaru to make way for a new St John hub to be built on the site. It wasn't cost effective to earthquake strengthen Timaru's current St John building, and this gives a chance for St John to offer better services to the community.
We've worked with St John in Christchurch, and they've just had the new hub built up there. They knew what a good station works like, so we've incorporated that into the design and come up with this very nice plan of a new ambulance station here in Timaru.
Gordon Handy of St John in Timaru says the money for the build comes from a trust fund which locals have been donating to since 1941, and now it's time to give back to the community.
As the money that's been given to us to build the station has come from local, one of the key criteria for us was that we had to use local people to build it. There's in excess of 30,000 hours of work which the locals are going to pick up from this build. So it's a substantial amount of work and money back into the local region. One of the big things for us was, it had to be local, shop local, look after the locals, and that's what we're doing. So the project has started and there'll be a lot of work created, good for South Canterbury and good for Timaru.
South Canterbury Chamber of Commerce CEO Wendy Smith says the build will help the region's already strong economy.
Yeah, and we are positioned really well. As an economy, we've got a very diverse economy. So when we look around the country, South Canterbury is going to be one of those economies that comes out of this crisis and the downturn the best, because of our strong diversification, really powerful agricultural production and all the associated manufacturing and food processing that goes with that, leading into the export market. So we're well positioned and we're confident.
In Timaru, the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today. We hear about this year's ASB Otago Sports Awards, and we hear from Paul Dwyer and Hugh Tate in the latest episode of Rugby Chat.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
Come on, mate. The blue doesn't go with the brown.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
Welcome back. We continue with bringing you this year's ASB Otago Sports Awards. The winner of the Otago Daily Times Team of the Year category is the North Otago rugby team, who excelled in the last 12 months by winning the Heartland Championship.
North Otago coach Jason Forrest says it's been a decade since the team last won the national championship.
It's still pretty surreal, even though you were sort of into 2020 now, but yeah, no, it was a surreal year. Long time coming for us. It was 2010 was the last time we had won it, so 9 years between drinks, and the boys, the group, thoroughly deserved it. And as a coaching group, myself and Nick and Rat and all those boys, we just couldn't be happier for the players.
It took a 33-19 win over Wanganui in the final for North Otago to claim the Meads Cup in last year's Heartland Championship.
Yeah, there was 8 teams leading into that final round. I think Thames Valley were at the top, and then I think Poverty Bay were about 8th. And they could have been, with 2 wins, they could have quite easily gone to the top of the table. So I've been around 12, 13 years around the Heartland competition, and it was the closest the competition, as you said, the competition has ever been.
The Heartland Championship won't be able to be held this year, but the team are hoping to take the field later this season against other South Island sides.
Our sponsors, McEwen Petroleum, Road Metals, Kiwi Concrete, Spates and Gilbert being our major ones. But I mean, there's a whole heap more. But, without that in Heartland Rugby, we can't do a thing. So, it's going to be tough times for everyone. We're around sponsorship, club rugby, rep rugby and that this year. But, we couldn't do it without them. And, we're just going to build bigger and better for 2021 when the Heartland competition comes back around again. Try and go back to back.
Dunedin Club Rugby will finally kick off on July 4 with the finals planned for mid-September. In the latest episode of Rugby Chat, Paul Dwyer talks to the Council of Clubs Match Committee member Hugh Tate about the decision.
I've got with me Hugh Face Tate from the Land Reunion, or the Onion as they're more commonly known as. The reason I've got Hugh Tate on is, welcome along Hugh, is the fact he's on the match committee of the CRC. Now they had a meeting last night, and I hear the chairman of that CRC was fired up. He wanted to get rugby away on the 20th or 27th of June, and he got absolutely rolled. So what's happening with rugby? When are we starting now?
True story. The chairman did get rolled last night. It was pretty unanimous too, actually, so it was good.
Yeah, look, I've got to get that chairman. He's got to get some counselling.
He does. So rugby's going to kick off on the 4th of July, Paul.
So why, mate? Why could, because the rugby had previously come out and said that Super 15 was going to start on the 13th, and then we had Lancaster coming out from the NZRU saying, well, look, there's no reason why, if we could get training next week, the week of the 25th, that they could perhaps have started on the 20th or the 27th. So why are we waiting until the 4th of July?
Yeah, so there's a lot of...
Is this because of Donald Trump and American Anniversary Day or whatever it is?
Yeah, we'll acknowledge him.
Right.
Yeah, we looked at a lot of things, the match committee trying to sort out a suitable format, and the underlying thing was to try and be fair to all the grades. And the match committee over the last few years and the Chairman's Council have pushed for this finals day and giving value to all players in whatever grade they're in. So we actually looked at a suitable finals day and worked backwards from there, to be fair. And we looked to have rugby finished by the end of September. And to do that then, clearly we had about 10, 12 weeks up our sleeve. So how could we work a format then that would best suit all grades?
Okay, and obviously with health and safety, and we haven't seen those guidelines yet, but I understand they're coming out to all clubs in Dunedin today. Look, is there I presume there's a lot of hoops to go through?
Yeah, so none of the clubs own their grounds, obviously, so the grounds are controlled by the Dunedin City Council as the owner and the guardians of the grounds.
So you're not able to do 10 k's an hour on the fields?
Yeah, that'll probably happen too. To be fair to the council, they have to ensure that the clubs and the users of the grounds have got adequate safety measures in place. So they have developed a health and safety plan in conjunction with Sport Otago for all their facilities. So netball,
I worry about when all these destitute organisations get involved, and these people have got nothing better to do, so it worries me. But look, you've probably seen some of the stuff, and I presume a lot of it's distancing and still trying to maintain bubbles and contact registering and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Are the clubs going to be able to do this?
Yeah, I think they will. It's a moving target, obviously, so things are changing daily. And yesterday we got some good news in regards to we don't have to contact trace all the spectators and supporters. So
right. Because that would have been a nightmare.
Oh, you can imagine if old Dunedin Rugby Club had to get pulled wire, getting along the sideline, getting names of all the supporters and spectators.
Well, most of them wouldn't talk to me, so...
That's right.
Yeah.
So a huge plus in that regard, and it'll make things a lot easier, and who knows, by the time we kick off on the 4th of July...
It could have changed again.
Oh, it'll change 5 times, I would suggest. So,
okay.
After the break on the South today, the Otago Nuggets are set to compete in the National Basketball League for the first time since 2014, and we check out tomorrow's weather.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Heaven Sent Pet Cremations knows that losing a pet is like losing a family member, and we have many special ways for you to keep their memory dear to your heart. From caskets, remembrance pendants to remembrance spheres. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Do you know Youth Grow in North East Valley? It's an awesome plant nursery where young people can work and learn life skills. You can now order your vegetable seedlings, herbs, bulbs and shrubs over the phone or by email. Either pick up your order on Norwood Street in North East Valley or they can deliver to you. Look for Youth Grow Garden Centre on Facebook or visit youthgrow.org.nz. Happy gardening!
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Wrens are Otago's painting, tiling and plastering experts. Offering a free measure and quote, Wrens is a name you can trust to get the job done right. Call Wrens today on 477 9384 or visit wrens.co.nz.
welcome back. A large number of staff at Dunedin's Larnac Castle have lost their jobs as a result of COVID-19 shutting down tourism. Larnac's director Norcom Barker says the castle employed 106 people during its peak season, but had to let a large number go. Barker says the decision is one of the toughest he's ever had to make, but says it was either drop a lot of staff or close the castle. He says a government wage subsidy provided some relief for the castle, which had claimed $529,000 for 97 employees. While it might not be as they had imagined, the Otago Nuggets will compete in the National Basketball League for the first time since 2014. The NBL has announced plans for a 7-team National League held in Auckland starting on June 23.
A brand new basketball season set to tip off. Teams will play up to 3 nights a week for 6 weeks, with maximum squads of 10 players and 2 emergency players. The draw for this brand new NBL is yet to be finalised. Otago Nuggets head coach Brent Matahaere is looking forward to the challenge.
Oh, look, I think it's really exciting. Like the Nuggets board have done a great job and basically pulling together and making sure we can get this group on the court. So yeah, super exciting to be able to get out there this year and show our wares.
Nuggets uniforms have been ordered and should arrive before the season starts. As Matahaere says, there has been a lot of behind-the-scenes coordination to get a team ready.
Oh, certainly has. Look, this idea came out. We got asked to see if we were interested in being in the league. You know, Justin Nelson has done a great job in pulling this all together. You know, working with the sponsors and basically making sure we've got a product to put forward.
He says COVID-19 has been a game changer, cancelling sports worldwide for about 2 months, but says this team is ready to represent the South in the brand new NBL.
Things change in this world at the moment, and you know things have changed through the whole process. But to finally get an announcement and the fact that the Nuggets are in there is just fantastic.
It's been 6 years since the Nuggets took part in a nationwide competition, and he's stoked this team is set to take the court next month after many years adrift.
At 2014, obviously the last season, the Nuggets were in the league, and you know they tried to get back in every now and again. There's always been the chance to get back in, but you know we're realising that on it's actually June 24th for us will be our first game.
The whole competition is to take place in Auckland due to the risks of COVID-19 transmission if teams travel around the country. So far, the Auckland Huskies, Canterbury Rams, Franklin Bulls, Manawatu Jets, Nelson Giants, Otago Nuggets and Taranaki Mountaineers have committed to play this season. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the situation, a warmer north to northwesterly airflow increases over the region tomorrow ahead of multiple cold fronts in the Tasman Sea. In the southern towns, you're due for strong northerlies and high cloud. The Catlins, Lumsden, Balclutha and Gore should all reach 15 degrees. Heading to the Central Lakes, you're set for freshening northwesterlies and some clouds. Wanaka and Alexandra should reach 16 degrees. Queenstown heads for 14 and Te Anau, you should expect strong northerlies, rain and 14 degrees. To the northern towns, moderate northerlies and some high clouds. Timaru or Oamaru aim for 15 degrees, while Twizel should reach 15 and Omarama is due for 16 degrees. In Dunedin it will be fine tonight with northerlies with an overnight low of 5 degrees. Fine with high cloud increasing during the day tomorrow with moderate northerly winds. The high should be 15 and the low 9. High cloud breaks on Friday with some sunny periods developing with a high of 18 and a low of 9 degrees. And heading down to Invercargill, cloud increasing and northwesterlies freshening tonight with an overnight low of 8. Milder tomorrow with cloud thickening and lowering during the day. Plan for some rain at night. You should have a high of 15 and a low of 10. Rain clears on Friday with fresh gusty northwesterly winds with a high of 15 and a low of. That's all for our news this Wednesday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.